So Ryan, I'll come to yourself next. So obviously, I've worked closely with you, Ryan, in the past on your MDF program, and I've seen firsthand, how you spend time on strategizing and alignment with indeed your company's strategy and channel strategy within your FDM program or your MDF program, and how that's actually resulted in a very successful program. So, I'm sure the audience would be interested, Ryan, in just sharing how you went about that and how you drove such a successful program.
Yeah, sure. I think when we talk about eligible activities, that's quite a granular thing to look at, and we've just gone through that exercise actually here at Extreme for our new financial year, which starts in July. But I think if we just talk sort of bigger picture for a second, and I think you mentioned it at the start there, Kenneth, it's easy to get lost in the weeds with MDF programs and dive down into the detail. Lots of partners, distributors will expect an MDF program, so you might feel pressured to build one quickly and rush it out and get it in place. When I joined Extreme 2.5 years ago, they'd just refreshed their program, turned it into a proposal-based program. So we're talking probably about 3.5 years ago now. So the program was in place, but it felt like it had been a little bit copy-pasted from somewhere else. So it was functioning, but we've done a lot of work over the last couple of years to try and mold the program, tailor the program, as I mentioned a second ago, to the different kinds of partners, the different kinds of activities that we see driving success. So I think, easy to get lost in the weeds. Keep the bigger picture in mind. Make sure that the program that you're putting in place, the tenets of the program are supporting your company's strategy. For example, at Extreme, our big push now is on cloud. Everything around cloud networking, and that applies to existing customers, encouraging them to migrate to cloud as much as it does to attracting new customers to the cloud as well. So that's one of our big focuses on how we can drive MDF activity and MDF dollars into campaigns that will drive cloud business. The only other thing I wanted to mention was just that I think we've become a bit more innovative in our MDF spend. So although we do offer the traditional, and this still makes up the majority, the traditional approach, which is you, Mr. Partner or Distributor, we pre-approve you to do something, you do it, you incur the cost, and then we reimburse you. We're also seeing a bit more innovation in terms of Extreme directly paying third parties to provide certain services to distributors or partners. So things like partner concierge services or integrated digital campaign services that distributors and partners can access. And this isn't, I'm not really sort of talking about general access. There are sometimes marketing tools that every partner can access, and we know that not every partner wants to stick their logo on the same material that 100 other partners have got, but we're talking about small selected groups of partners who are chosen by the local marketing teams to participate in certain campaigns. So quite low numbers, but where we think there's a good chance of success with specific, maybe a small group of 5 or 10 partners in one region in a specific vertical, and we will use MDF to fund a third-party agency to support those partners to market. We've also seen growth in things like translations of corporate materials. I think that's underestimated sometimes. We've got a very successful Networking for Dummies series, which was initially, of course, available in English, and now we're investing in translating those into other major languages and then enabling partners to use those that content as well. So I think it's about, there is that traditional model, partner disti incurs the cost, but there are also other ways, if your finance team will allow you, of course, there are other ways you can leverage that those MDF dollars as well to make your spend more intelligent.
Thanks, Ryan. I think, just listening to there, that level of granularity that you're able to achieve is really important. And having those additional services is almost, I think people are starting to refer to it as the marketplace of MDF, where you have all of these, an activity will spawn out to a page where you can actually let the partner serve, you know, I want to run this campaign, go to this agency, I want to do something else, go back to the vendor, etc. So it's kind of like that a la carte menu, if you like, of what you want them to pick, but having the ability to only be able to offer that, or to, I suppose, target partners and give them those different options, I think is a big part of what's you know, enabled you to be successful. Interesting. I hadn't heard that translation ones before, Ryan, so that's new to me. So thank you for that. Michelle, James, anything you wanted to add to the activities discussion?
Yeah, I think what I want to add on is I think what's key is to establish a mutual agreement with the partners on the key objectives and priorities that you want to achieve together with the partners. So as Ryan mentioned, right, he has been making enhancements to the program and incorporate different types of partners. So different types of partners will have very different strategic objectives. Align that to your overall corporate strategy and look at activities that can successfully meet these objectives within your organizations, or those that have been previously executed by your partners and have shown success. I think what's also key is probably look at new and emerging media and marketing trends, as marketing has changed drastically over the past 10 years, right? So, you know, I think it's key to constantly review the program and look at new activities and new media that your customers are turning to and incorporate these elements into the program and the plans.
Yeah, good, Michelle. Okay. So, yeah. Sorry, do you want to go in, Jim?
No, I was just going to say, Kenneth, that I like what Ryan said about building flexibility into the program at Extreme. And I think, you know, obviously a proposal-based one allows that a lot more. And, you know, it kind of brings the partner more centrally into the program, I guess, and they are really key to this. It's about making sure that they are engaged, they feel like they've got a voice, and you can also work to their strengths. You know, Ryan, you were talking about if you want to do an activity in a particular region and you're changing your business at Extreme to focus more on cloud, it's identifying partners that have ready-made skill sets and capabilities to really sort of enable you to make some positive inroads into that new market. So I think having a more flexible approach where you understand your partners, you involve them in the process of defining some of the program activities, and you work really closely with them. It's a really healthy thing to be doing.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Yeah, smart investments, basically. So, yeah. Oh, okay, so Brenda, just I think we want to, before I move on to the next question, maybe take another poll.
Okay, thank you, Kenneth. So here we are going to ask you, what percentage of your channel partners participate in your MDF programs? Would it be less than 25%, 25 to 49%, 50 to 75%, or more than 75%? I think you might be the lucky ones. And of course, if you don't run an MDF program for partner. And as I mentioned earlier, I see a couple of people have submitted questions already, so thank you very much. And if anyone else would like to, please just pop them into the question section and we will get to them a little bit later on. Okay, we'll just give this another couple of seconds.
And I might have missed a poll. If I did, Brendan, you want to take the second one now, that's okay.
Okay, we might throw the second one in as well. Thanks, Kenneth. Okay, we're going to close that one out. Thank you, everyone who voted. And we're going to open up the next one. This is always an interesting one. What's the most challenging aspect of managing your MDF? And this is a multiple choice answer selection, so choose all that apply. So is it time consuming and resource intensive? Is it difficult to accurately target the desired audience? Is there a lack of visibility of performance? Is there an inability to measure the return on investment? And of course, if you don't run an MDF program for partners. Okay, definitely some interesting results coming in there. People are still voting, so we'll just give it another couple of seconds. Okay, it's slowed down there now, so Kenneth, I will pass it back over to you now. Thank you, everyone.